Tandag City Division as the smallest division metamorphosed into an organized, functional and competitive schools division office after having been separated from its mother division. Guided by its mantra, it continues to provide efficient and quality services to its stakeholders, both internal and external, one of which is the provision of technical assistance through the conduct of instructional supervision, a concern given primordial focus, one of which is the provision of technical assistance through the conduct of instructional supervision, a concern given primordial focus by the supervisors. Instructional supervision is a professional, continuous, and cooperative process for the improvement of instruction. It is characterized by guidance, assistance, sharing of ideas, facilitation, or creation to help teachers improve learning situation and quality of learning in the schools. It is a hand-holding for a professional colleague by a supervisor or instructional leader who possesses superior knowledge and skills and who work collaboratively in a school environment that nurtures the development of professional learning community. In the education process, the role of teachers cannot be underestimated because they play a great role in the holistic development of the learners. Gladhorn cited in Yoruba 2003. Hence, the main task of the principal is to ensure that the department's vision, mission, and goals are translated into classroom practice. This involves coordinating the classroom objectives and providing instructional support to teachers, and monitoring classroom instruction through the formal and informal visits. However, during the school monitoring conducted by the education program supervisors and the division subject coordinators of Tandag City Division, it was found out 60% of the school heads are not doing their supervisory job. Percentage of their instructional supervisory function, which is 70%, becomes 30% and vice versa due to the demand of time in doing their managerial tasks as school heads. These observations were triangulated during the convergence with teachers of different subject areas and focus group discussions. On the other hand, the instructional supervision conducted by the education program supervisors showed that 165 teachers observed and provided with technical assistance in the school year 2016 to 2017, 30% needs technical assistance on the aspect of classroom management and teaching strategies, 20% on lesson planning and instructional materials preparation, 20% on assessment, and 10% on content. The information suggests that majority of the school heads are not doing their main task as instructional leaders. This situation prompted the researchers to conduct this study on evaluating the management of instructional supervision in public elementary and secondary schools of Tandag City, which is focused on evaluating the school head's capability in managing their instructional supervisory role, specifically on determining the school head's professional competence, how they identify teachers' strengths and developmental needs, and how do they design interventions to address the needs. The study utilized the purposive and random sampling to 30 public elementary and secondary schools of Tandag City Division. 30 school heads and 180 teachers were chosen as respondents of this study. Using the validated researcher-made survey questionnaire, data were drawn and variables considered in this study from the respondents are the school head's professional competence in terms of educational qualification, number of years as school head, plantilla position, and trainings attended related to instructional supervision, how school heads identify strengths and limitations of teachers, and how they design interventions so as to help teachers reduce their limitations. Data gathered were treated using the frequency, weighted mean, and standard deviation. Interview and focus group discussion were also employed in this paper. Results of the survey revealed that 47% of the school heads are only taking master's degree units. 40% of the school heads are new in the position they are handling below 5 years. 53% of the school heads are not full-fledged principal. Out of the several trainings attended by the school heads, only one focused on instructional supervision, which was initiated by the division. As to the extent of identifying the teacher's strengths and limitation in the classroom as perceived by the school heads and teachers, results shows the differences in opinion as to how the school heads identify the instructional needs of teachers in the classrooms, observe the teacher's competence in classroom management, facilitate the availability of instructional materials, and encourage the teachers to use it, encourage teachers in developing instructional goals and objectives, and advise teachers to use active learning activities in the classroom, where school heads perceived it as very evident, while teachers observed it as less evident. Same is true to designing interventions to reduce teachers' limitations. School heads and teachers observe it as very evident and less evident respectively. Further, it was also noted that the most prevalent challenges encountered by the school heads are time constraints, teachers' attitudes toward instructional supervision, and lack of feedback and follow-up on essential aspects regarding instructional supervision. Based on the foregoing findings of the study, the following recommendations are offered. Majority of the school heads are only taking master's degree units. They should be encouraged to finish their postgraduate studies for professional growth and development. Most of the school heads are new in the position they are handling. They must be exposed to seminars and trainings, especially on managing the school. Only 47% of the school heads are full-fledged principal. Majority of them are head teachers and teachers in charge. Hence, the division should conduct in-house training for teachers who are qualified to take the national qualifying examination for school heads. School heads must be constantly refreshed with quality and appropriate supervision training. Seminar, workshops, and conferences should be organized by the division from time to time to update the school head's supervisory focus on instructional supervision. School heads should conduct religiously the instructional supervision to teachers so they will know the strengths and developmental needs of teachers, and in doing so, they could provide various interventions and appropriate to the needs of the teachers. A monthly supervisory plan must be submitted to the division on or before the deadline set. Adequate time should be allotted by the school heads for instructional supervision. They should be committed to take part of their supervisory role within the school setting as part of their main function to ensure improvement in the quality of instruction. School heads should educate teachers about instructional supervision practices and encourage them to regard instructional supervision as a normal administrative procedure and as one of the means through which teacher performance can be improved. School heads should build a culture of shared responsibility for learning and instructional improvement. School heads must ensure that feedback is done after class visits. It is necessary for a school head to provide constructive and meaningful feedback on what is observed in the classroom. School heads should establish a monitoring and evaluation mechanism to follow up the progress of learning and instruction. Division Education Program Supervisors should intensify the monitoring of school heads on the conduct of instructional supervision and provide technical assistance based on the developmental needs of the school heads. With these recommendations, initial actions were already done. Result of this study was already communicated to the school heads. Enhanced capacity building on instructional supervision to school heads were already conducted. Monthly submission of the school head's instructional supervisory plan is intensified. Newly hired designated school heads were prioritized to attend seminars and trainings conducted by the division and the region. Education program supervisors intensify the conduct of the instructional supervision and the provision of technical assistance to the school heads. Currently, Tandag City Division strives its best in institutionalizing the effective conduct of instructional supervision by the school heads and the education program supervisors.